Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about editing. So I want to talk to you guys about editing, and I'm going to use, well, not just any editing, but here's, alright, so let's break down editing an action set piece. Now, we shot this in maybe 2 hours, so that, now some films are like 20, 30, 40 action set piece back to back with a couple of dialogues in between. That's mostly action movies these days. So we wanted this to be a little mini action movie, even though it's just a mini set piece. So as you saw before, we shot a lot of stuff. You guys got maybe 30 minutes of everything that we shot that day. But it's a lot of footage that you have to break down, and you have to figure out which shots the best shots and which shots work. And action is a different thing when it comes to shooting and editing, because you have to make the hits seem real. You can't. There's certain things you can fake and certain things you can't fake. So not only did I have to think about, you know, the voice dialogue that they were on sync with the guys talking, because a lot of times the audio may go bad in the wind and stuff like that. I also had to make sure when they got hit with a punch or something that it was on cue. As you can see right here, you can see this crashed metal, let me show you. And you can see right here when we go for the first hit, that I have to make sure that it actually hit. As you can see, hold on. I'm sorry, I was trying to cut out curses, but okay, it's moving a little too early. This is the first time I opened a file since I've edited the movie, but as you can see, because it's not on the right time, it comes off weird. See, it's coming off early. So things like that, I had to make sure it was on cue. I had to make sure the sound effects were on cue, the music was on cue. One thing I've learned is cutting frames in between the hits to make the hits look a little more violent. It make them look a little faster. Like every time he got close, I cut a frame and I cut another frame, cut another frame, and I cut another frame. I was cutting, cutting, cutting basically. Every few seconds I cut another frame. You know. I've learned, from watching John Woo films, Quentin Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez, even in Spike Lee films and Kevin Smith films, they're very low, but their very early films were low budget. So if it made me focus on what can I shoot. And El Marachi is probably the best, example of shooting a low budget action film, because you can see that you can do very little with everything if you just know where to place your camera. Placing your camera is everything in this, because if you know where to place your camera, then all you have to do is just edit properly. Editing pretty much editing is everything, guys. Editing is really everything, because without it, everything could fall apart. You have to cut to the right stuff, put the right sound effects in, the right visual effects, and the visual effects here wasn't too crazy. We did very simple sparks when he shot at the shield. But what can I say? It's low budget, no budget, right? It's what we're all talking about here, doing stuff for no budget. But if you do it right, and it could look really, really cool, and people will look past the stuff that you can't pull off. They know you don't have the budget of Disney, Marvel to shoot $100 million set pieces. But if you move the camera properly and actually put in the sound effects and the music in the right place, you may have something. Just know that there's a lot of stuff you have to think about in editing. Frames you gotta cut in between, the sound effects, the gunplay, the music, all that you gotta think about, and of course the credits.